Hey guys, good morning and welcome to another segment of Coffee and Coaching. I am calling today's segment Abound and Abased. The Bible talks a lot about being abound and abased, but what does that really mean? So my question that I'm posing today, and again, there's no right or wrong answer, it's just something, a little food for thought, is it better to have had something, wealth, whatever, and lost it, or is it better to not have ever had it at all, never to have experienced that, so you don't have to deal with loss? And there's a couple different ways that we can look at this, and I always like to kind of pose these rhetorical questions and think about both sides of that coin. And I think personally, a lot of times it is actually harder to have had certain luxuries and certain things in your life and then lose those things, as opposed to never having experienced those things in your life. I base this on some of the cultures that I've seen and some of the things I've seen in our society and in our culture, where people that have lost everything financially, or made bad investments, or they were scammed out of their money, and they can't live with that thought, and so they take their own life, and they leave their family behind, all because they reach this status, this level of financial freedom, and now they're actually back down to like where the regular people are. Then you look at other cultures, and working in a church, I had actually seen people that came back from mission trips and brought pictures and talked about their experiences, and how they would go into, one of the places was the Mathari Valley in Africa, and they would see these people that were just destitute, and they had no food, they had no money, and they were living in these shanties, these little tin roof sort of buildings that were built, and just garbage piled up everywhere. But these people had a joy in their heart. These people had a happiness about them that was palpable and was unshakable. And from our perspective, you look at somebody like that, and you wonder to yourself, how do they have this much joy and this much love for life, when they're destitute and they have nothing? And it's simple when you come down to what true joy is. Joy is not something that, number one, can be purchased. Things don't bring you joy. Now, things can bring you happiness, but how many times have we bought something, and a year or two goes by, and all of a sudden it's not that same sense of, oh my gosh, I have this new car, and I love it, and I'm driving it everywhere, and I'm so happy to have it, and a couple years go by, and now it's, I've got to put another $100 or $200 into the car for some work, or something's wrong, and things break down, things decay, and we put too much emphasis, too much of what brings us happiness on these things. And I've experienced in my life places and things that I've gone to, or restaurants I've had the privilege of being able to experience, and all of these things that I've had that aren't in my life anymore. And there's this touch of longing for those, and there's this little sense of, I miss those days. But the truth is nothing really stays around forever. Nothing lasts forever. We don't have items that that we love when we get them, and 7, 10, 15, 20 years down the road, they're in the same state that we got them, and we love them just as much. So today I would like you to think about being abound and abased. And does your joy come from within? Does your happiness come from within and the people in your life and the joy and the love that you can bring to other people? Or is your happiness wrapped up in things? Because if your happiness is wrapped up in never being satisfied until you have the latest and greatest, you will never truly be happy, and you will never truly have joy with just being satisfied with the things that you have now and the things that maybe you didn't have 3 years ago but you've been blessed with now. And so this is sort of a lesson that I'm trying to teach my son right now, and it's that don't get too hung up on things. Don't get too hung up on what you have now and what you've lost, and let that control or affect your joy and your happiness. Your happiness and your joy should always come from within, and if you know, the truth be told, really doing for other people, I think, tends to bring the biggest and the greatest amount of joy. I've experienced that myself, and it's, to me, it's so much more meaningful to do something for somebody else than to just go out and buy something that I may want, just something to own selfishly, or something that I know I don't really need. Meeting the needs of other people, I think, is truly where joy comes from. So again, just my opinion, and you're more than welcome to weigh in. I welcome everybody's opinions. You can agree, disagree, just as long as you do it with respect. And I love you guys, and I hope this brings a little joy into your life today. Peace out.